My name is Wayne Ruddock, and today in this independent infrared camera review we're going to take a look at the Process Sensors pti160 infrared handheld camera. This camera is fully radiometric and comes in 4 different temperature models. The pti160 works in the temperature range from -20 to +250 degrees Celsius. The pti160 LT works in the range from -20 to +600 degrees Celsius. The pti160 MT works in the range from -20 up to 1,000 degrees Celsius. And the HT, or high temperature model, works from -20 degrees C all the way up to +1,500 degrees Celsius. The camera has an accuracy of ±2 degrees Celsius, or 2% of the reading that the camera is looking at. It is a fully radiometric 160 by 120 focal plane array microbolometer that works in the 8 to 14 micron range. The camera has a field of view as supplied of 20 degrees by 15 degrees. The lens on the camera is a manual focus lens, and the focus is controlled on the front of the camera by the lens, and it has an attached lens protector cover as well. The spatial resolution in this camera, or the instantaneous field of view, is 2.2 milliradians. For an industrial camera, the camera is very sensitive. It has a thermal sensitivity of 0.1 degrees Celsius at 30 degrees C. The frame rate on this camera is either 50 or 60 Hertz, or frames per second. The focus distance in the camera, it focuses from 4 inches all the way out to infinity. The display in the camera is a flip-up 2.5-inch color display. The infrared image can be displayed on this display using one of the 6 user-selectable color palettes that are available in the camera. As we mentioned, it is a radiometric camera, and the measurement functions are 4 moving temperature measurement spots, or crosshairs. 3 of them can be manually controlled, and 1 is an automatic hot spot or cold spot locator. The camera also comes with an isotherm function that's user controlled, and the isotherm is a function that highlights areas of equal radiated energy. To ensure that the onboard computer gives you correct temperature calculations, the camera has user-defined emissivity from 0.01 to 1, as well as a manual input for the ambient background reflected temperature. The memory in the camera is up to 1,000 infrared images, and these images can be transferred to your laptop or PC using the USB port. The output is at the bottom of the handle, where we have a USB output. In the bottom of the handle we also have a standard video out with an RCA cable that comes with the camera, and there's also an AC power input port at the bottom of the handle as well. The camera comes with a built-in Class 2 laser that can be turned on or off, a laser locator to let you know what you're looking at. The environmental specifications of this camera, it is an IP54 specification. Also, the camera weighs 700 grams, so it's very light and portable. There are very few controls in the camera. It's very intuitive. There is a control panel in the back here, and also a user programmable trigger in the front. And the way the camera is built, it can be used left-handed or right-handed. It doesn't make any difference whether you're right or left-handed. The camera comes with 2 lithium-ion batteries, each battery lasting approximately 2.5 hours. The batteries are conveniently located in the handle, and there is a safety cover that keeps the batteries in place and hides them. The operation of the camera is very intuitive and the buttons are very simple to operate. We have a power button here, and you depress the power button and hold it, and the camera beeps once the power comes on, and we see we have the green power light lit up there. It takes a few minutes for the detectors to initiate and an image to come onto the screen, and once we get an image on the screen, there is an automatic adjust button marked by the A, and by pushing the A button, the auto adjust button, the camera automatically adjusts the level and the span and gets the operator a nice clear image. The C button is the clear button. When you depress the C button, it clears any of the functions that are currently on the display screen. The S button is the freeze save button. Depressing the S button quickly once freezes your image, and depressing the S button and holding it down stores an image in the memory of the camera. There is a four-way selection pad with an enter key in the middle of it. By depressing the enter key, it brings up the menus in the camera, and we will go through those menus shortly, and the arrow keys let you select whatever item you want, and pushing the enter key initiates that. And we will take a look at the screen and go through those values when we look at the menus. And as we mentioned, the trigger key is at the front, and it allows you to select either to save an image, to do an auto adjust, or turn on and off the laser spot with that trigger key. Once we turn the system on, the first screen we see is the system information screen, and that gives us a little information on the system. Once the detectors have warmed up, it checks the disc to make sure there's space, and then we get our image. And by adjusting the focus in the front, we can fine-tune our image to see a nice sharp line on the image. We see the status bar on the bottom, and it tells us the status of the system, including the emissivity and the time. Hitting the enter key, we get our menus up, and we have the analysis one is the first one. Hitting enter again, we turn our spot meter on, and we see the temperature displayed in the upper right hand corner. Using the directional arrow keys, we can move the spot anywhere we want on the image. Once we're finished, we need to hit the clear button, the C button, and we go back to our menus again, and we can turn on the auto hotspot tracker, which is now on, and it tracks the hottest spot in the field of view and displays that temperature up in the right hand corner as well. To get out of that, we simply hit the clear button and we're back to our menu. And after the analysis, we can go down to the file. We can open a file, save a file, or delete a file from the memory. C button to clear that, and the auto adjust is exactly the same as hitting the A button on the button pad, so we don't use that very often. The manual adjust is the temperature range, the level, and the span. On the more expensive, higher end cameras, they have higher temperatures. They have a number of temperature ranges. When the camera is clear in the screen, pushing the right arrow key moves the level up. Pushing the left directional key moves the level down. Pushing the up directional key opens the span up, and pushing the down arrow key closes the span down. So we just hit our enter key again to bring up our next menu selection, and that's the object parameters. Here we can set the emissivity, the distance, the ambient reflection, and the humidity to give us accurate temperature calculations in our camera. Image only simply just takes the status bar off and leaves us the image and the color bar. When we go to the setup under analysis, this is where we can change the hotspot tracker to a cold spot tracker to change it from maximum to minimum.
We can turn the audible alert on. We can set the temperature for the alert. The correction is something we don't use, and here's where we can set the isotherm up and change the isotherm color from red to green. We can also go to the laser adjustment and adjust the position of the laser. Under local, we can change the languages and also change it from NTSC to PAL for the video output. We can also go from C to F for meters to feet and change the date format. In the date and time, as is expected, we can change the date and time. In other, we can change the color palettes to select one of the various 6 color palettes, and we can change the auto adjust and the continuous adjust. And again, it's jumped back on me, sorry about that. And here we are back to the color palettes, and we'll go through the various color palettes from rainbow to iron bow and one called feather, as well as a grayscale. I find that I can see more colors in the rainbow, and that's where I leave it. Also on the system info, it's just the same thing as we saw when we turned the camera on to start with. By depressing the on and off button, we can shut the system down simply by holding that on and off button down for a few seconds.